All right, hey, I wanted to check in with a little bit of a different video for me. This is going to be a review of my boox Palma 2 e-reader after about a month and a half of using it. There was actually somebody on the comments of my everyday carry video. He was asking for me to do a little bit more of an in-depth review on the boox Palma 2 because the price is pretty high for it, I'll be honest with you. Especially compared to like a Kobo or a Kindle. So I wanted to do a little comparison of those two because I also do have those e-readers here, and kind of tell you my thoughts on if it's worth the price or if what I think overall on the product. So first off, I wanted to start with saying this is the boox Palma 2. You can see that it is much smaller. It is a phone size e-reader. It is literally the exact size of my phone, actually. So when I put it in my pocket, they kind of just lay flush together. As you can see, I have some, this is Oblivion by David Foster Wallace. I have it up there. You can change the page here with the volume buttons if you so choose. And this button here will lock the device as well as unlocks the device. There's also a fingerprint reader on it. Let's see if it works for me. It worked. Or there's a passcode. There's another button right over here that you can have it do a bunch of different things. I have it on a refresh, so it'll refresh the screen. If you're unfamiliar with e-ink displays, sometimes you'll get a little bit of like ghosting from the previous page on your screen. It happens on all e-ink displays if it's not refreshing constantly. So that button is kind of like a little force refresh, which is really nice. Sometimes you'll get like a super faint version of like chapter 4 right here or something. You can just press that and it goes away. It's super helpful to have. I really enjoy that aspect of it. This is a USB-C device, and as you can see, it does have speakers as well. That is because this is a full-on Android device. So if I swiped up just like a normal phone, you can actually just install whatever app on here pretty much that you would want. I can open up the Play Store there. I'm actually offline right now, but normally you have access to all of any app that an Android device would have, you can install on here. And that includes YouTube, things like that. I don't use it for those purposes. As you can see, I have some of just those default apps installed on here. I have Google Drive because that's where I save some of my ebooks. I have them on my drive, and then I can access them from practically any device. And then I have the Kindle app for Kindle exclusive books or whatever, and then I have the Kobo app to access the books that I had already purchased on my Kobo prior, which I think I'm all caught up on all those books anyway. So really these apps are kind of just there because just in case. But I do get all of my books that I put on here through just like an EPUB online. There are websites to access those. I only get the ones that I have purchased the physical version of, and I like to just have the physical version on an e-device, and that's why this is kind of perfect for that. You have a built-in library as well that can access any of the books or the storage that you have. As you can see here, there's some of the books that I had on there. All of these books I have completed reading, actually, besides Oblivion. And these are all books that I actually have reviews up on my channel for, but I had partially read them on here and partially read them physically. And that just seems to work the best for me. But if you just click into a book, you can go right back into it. You can tap to move, swipe to move, normal ebook, e-reader functionality. Now, if you were in this book and you wanted it to not maybe be as bright, you wanted it more of that nice yellowy tint, you can always swipe down wherever you are, and you can just kind of play with that. I hope that picks up pretty well. But you can play with the tint of it as much as you want, as well as the brightness, obviously. You can turn that all the way off, on, fully. I would say this is more customizable than a normal Kobo or Kindle because it is Android. And as you can see, like here's just like, this is like an Android menu, but it's built for an e-ink display, and it is very, very nice. That being said, this device is $279. That is a lot of fucking money for an e-reader device, especially when you have something like this. Here's my Libra 2, which is a Kobo Libra 2. It is a much larger device. They actually don't sell this version anymore. They just sell the color version, which goes for $229, which is $50 cheaper than this. And if you care, you get a bigger screen. So what you're doing is you're paying more for the pocketability of this device, because this doesn't really fit in my pocket, and I don't just whip out this. And even, honestly, I don't really want to bring my Kindle around either. I'll be honest with you. Mostly because I don't like the Kindle the Kindle ecosystem, but that's a whole nother thing. I don't really bring my Kindle around. I definitely don't bring my Kindle around, and I don't bring this around. So that leaves this device, and this is perfect for that. The Kindle, obviously, it goes for, there's a billion different Kindles and a billion different prices. I looked up the newest cost of the Paperwhite, and that is $159. Now, I didn't check actually if that is like an ad-free version. Mine is the ad version, which I hate. So I have ads on the front of my Kindle when I turn it off. So I always keep that shit closed and off to the side because I do not like being advertised to. And that's actually my biggest issue with Kindle in general is the amount of like bloatware that it kind of feels like it has. When you're on the main screen, the home screen of a Kindle, right under your books, you have books you might like, Kindle Unlimited based on your it's all just advertising on that main homepage. And of course you can go to your library and you got your library books, right? The books that are in your library. But if we go like even just to the Kobo, which is one of the reasons I like the Kobo as well. Here's my home screen for the Kobo. That's just books I have. That's not anything being advertised to me. And it's even saying, here's a way to get to the Overdrive app, which is very nice. If you don't know, that's a way you can borrow books, digital books from your local library. They have the My Books section as well, where there's just all of your books on here. This is much more nice, much more streamlined, much easier to deal with than a Kindle, I think. Again, it's more expensive. And then this, I think, is the best to deal with. In my opinion, this is the way that I would like it set up. I have the ability to choose which apps I want on here, which books I want on here, how I want this to look and be set up. I could delete these apps if I don't want them, which some of them I have. Some I'm just keeping because I like to fuck around with them every once in a while, see what it's like. And if I really wanted, I could pair this with a light phone, which I've been thinking about recently. I could pair this with my light phone and essentially be able to get rid of a smartphone, because I could have this with all my authenticator apps and everything like that. All of my books are on here, no entertainment besides books and utility. And then on the light phone, you just have the phone calls, and that's all you need. I've been thinking about that recently and thinking I might try switching to that, maybe doing a little test for it soon, but we'll see. Regardless, that is the basics of what this little device can do, what the Book Palma can do. It also does have, I forgot to mention, a camera, but this camera is actually just like a PDF scanner, so you can scan documents and have those documents on here as well. It really is a fantastic device. It is $279. It is a hefty price, but if you're going into it and you're looking for a portable small e-reader and something like a Kobo or a Kindle isn't going to really do it for you. I mean, you can see even the difference in the size between the smallest Paperwhite Kindle and the Boox Palma. You take a good section off of there. This you can definitely put in your pocket. This, when you pull it out, though, it looks like you're on your phone, and I like that about it because nobody's going to come up and be like, oh, you're reading? or something like that. It's pretty stealthy. It looks like you're on your phone. It is significantly smaller than the Libra 2, and that is because of this little section. And honestly, if you don't care about pocketability, I would go with this. I go with the Kobo all the way. I really like my Kobo device, my Libra 2. They also sell a Clara, which I think is actually the same price as a Kindle Paperwhite, but you're not locked in the Amazon ecosystem. So if you don't care about the smallness of this, I would just look into Kobos instead of Kindle. Kindle is my least favorite of all of the 3 e-reader types I have tried out here. But I hope I covered everything that I kind of wanted to cover in this. I'm sure there's going to be shit that pops up in my head later that I'm like, oh, I wish I would have mentioned that. But this is all I got for now. This is also what it looks like when the screen is off. I just like the nothing on the screen. It is perfect. You can put a picture there, and I bet it would look cool, but I like nothing on the screen. This device is awesome. Like I said, I've been using it a little over a month now, and it's been perfect for me. Perfect for me to bring into work. I throw this in my pocket with my phone and a notebook, and I'm set. So one other big point I would mention that I wish I would have actually said at the beginning of this, but here we are. If you are a new reader and you are looking for an e-reader, your first e-reader, you got to really make sure that you are into reading. I would hate to see a bunch of people buy devices and ebook e-readers and things only to find that they're not really using them, because a big point in this is it's not going to be as distracting as your phone. And that's amazing, right? That is a big selling point of this. You're not going to really want to go on YouTube and watch shit on this because it's an e-ink display with a not as good refresh rate. And that's the point of it. That being said, it is not going to solve your self-discipline problems of jumping to your phone for YouTube or for entertainment or for TikTok or for Instagram. It's not going to solve that problem on its own. That is something you need to address before you get into something like this, because I think the biggest selling point of this is it is a device that is in your pocket that will not distract you. It is primary purpose really should just be for reading, and that's all it is. And you got to really be willing and ready to justify spending $279 on something like that, especially if you are not sure yet if you even have the self-discipline to stop yourself from reaching for your phone rather than this. So I would say make sure you're into reading and make sure that you really are going to get use out of that portability of it, the pocketability. Those are the biggest takeaways, I think, is that you don't want to go and spring for something hoping it's going to solve all your problems, because it won't. That goes for the case with all these e-readers. If you're buying an e-reader hoping I'm going to get into reading, buy a couple books first and just read them physically, see how you like reading, and then go for e-readers. But that's probably another topic. That's not what anybody was asking my opinion for. This is a great device for what it does and what it's advertised to do. It's also USB-C, which I love, like Kobo's USB-C. This, I have a micro USB, so that's maybe part of my hate for this as well. But regardless, if y'all stuck around this long, I really do appreciate it. I know this is a little bit ranty, but I wanted to get my thoughts out there, and I hope I didn't miss anything. So I appreciate y'all for watching and sticking around this long, and thanks.